you're gonna start believing in yourself whenever you start doing what you say. You start doing what you say you're gonna do. Meaning, like, let's say, oh, you set a task, go to the gym for 30 days, go on a 60-day, 90-day run. Whenever you actually see yourself getting up early, doing the hard things, you're gonna start believing in yourself more that you can do these type of things. So then that's gonna translate to business, because how you do one thing is how you do everything. Success is kind of like a drug. It gets very, very addicting, right? Whenever you step into those different rooms, you just realize, like, you're not there yet. You're not turned.
What was that like? Because going from a gas station less than, like a year ago to $50K a month, what did that do for you?
Honestly.
What's up, everybody? We are back with another episode of the Vision to Reality show. This episode is really special because I have someone that I've known for a couple years now, a friend, a business partner, really my brother overall. He's killing it when it comes to business funding, the credit repair space. He's a day trader, overall, all around serial entrepreneur. So I want to introduce my brother, Adrian. Appreciate you for coming by today, man. All the way from ATL.
100%, man. What's good, guys? I'm Adrian. I'm a serial entrepreneur. I've been a full-time entrepreneur for around 4 years now. And yeah, I'm in ATL now, but I'm originally from North Carolina.
Cool, man. So we got a lot to talk about. We met almost 2 years ago now?
Yeah, it was 2 years
We met in
ago.
Miami because of a potential opportunity, we'll say.
100%.
And that opportunity didn't really pan out to go anywhere for us. But, I'm a big believer in your network is your net worth. Mm-hmm. And I think that, we both, obviously we met each other and we took away some, good keys from each other. But we curated a relationship and, we've been sharing game ever since, partnering on a couple of things. So really, let the people know who Adrian is, aside from the little intro I gave and just that. Who is Adrian? Where did Adrian come from? Where did it all start for you?
So Adrian, who is Adrian? That's a great question. Where it all started from with me is I originally, was doing YouTube, and that was my initial lane, what I wanted to do. Mm-hmm. But then that's whenever it really just wasn't panning out. I really wasn't seeing much results, and then that's whenever I wanted to switch kind of lanes and things like that, and then that's it's a whole story to how I got to here. So.
Right. Okay. So obviously you're on the up and come up, and I tell you this all the time because we talk every day. So I feel like a lot of this for us is just regular conversation. But for the people that don't know, you started working, like everybody else, working regular jobs, and when was that turning point where you're like, I want to go all in with this?
Okay. So the turning point with me, all right. So I was working at a gas station. Mm-hmm. I was making around $130 a week, and then that's whenever I had joined IML, and I was grateful enough to hit $5K a month pretty fast. But in MLM you can go from $5K, $2K, $5K, right. A lot of ups and downs in MLM. But then whenever I seen that $5K a month, and then whenever I had went back to $2K a month, I was like, okay, I need to put all my energy in this, because at my job I'm making $130 a week. $130 a week versus $5K a month. It just it's a no-brainer, right? So that's kind of like how it started with me. And what happened was whenever I quit, right? Whenever I quit, that's whenever I really, like, my brain, it was just like a switch. I remember like the first day, like my first day off after I quit and I didn't have to go to work. Mm-hmm. I was just like, damn, like I got all this time. Like I got all this time. Like what am I gonna do? So then like I'm just a workaholic, so I'm just thinking like, bro, I gotta max out my time. I gotta get busy. Then that's when I just started thinking of all these ideas. And then that's when one of my homies had told me about this opportunity a couple weeks ago, but the circumstances wasn't the same, like now basically my back is against the wall. Like I have to win. And then we revisited this opportunity, and I literally went from making, basically 130 to 5K to then 2K to 30 days later. Now I'm making $20,000 a month off of that.
So was the gas station, that was your last job?
Yeah, that was my last job.
Okay.
I haven't worked a job since November 2020.
Okay, and I think you told me before that it was what, Walmart, McDonald's, just like a lot of different.
Yeah, I done worked at I done worked at McDonald's. McDonald's was my first job ever. I worked at McDonald's. I worked at Walmart. I was a grave digger. Like, I literally dug graves, and I even moved existing graves. Like, it was crazy. Like, bro, like, I literally dug up people because it was like this grave site or whatever, right? And it had potential of being flooded out. So we had to dig up the bodies. We dug up bro, it was crazy. Like, some of the caskets were broken.
The opening and everything.
Yeah, like, bro, that was the craziest experience. And then, like, the drive site, like, the grave site was like an hour away. So I remember just driving, and I used to just imagine, like, seeing stuff in the back of the car.
Start hallucinating, start seeing things.
Bro, that was a crazy, crazy experience. But, yeah, man, you know, thank God we're here.
Right. So, you know, it just goes to show you always been a hustler, right? You always, you know, kept a job. And for you, was there someone you saw growing up that was an entrepreneur in your family? Because a lot of people are afraid to even get into entrepreneurship because they don't believe it's real unless they see like their parents doing it. So did you see anyone like close by actually, you know, living the lifestyle you wanted?
Honestly, no. You know, honestly, you know, me being transparent, I feel like I'm probably one of the first like entrepreneurs in my family.
Okay.
The first ones.
Okay. So you just, you know, you got involved with, you know, network marketing, and a lot of people talk down on network marketing, and most of my guests, we've all come through that, you know, realm of network marketing because it's not a bad thing. I think it just gets a misconception because a lot of times you join for one thing, and you don't necessarily get that. But if you take advantage of the network and the opportunity, I feel like it's that foundation and giving you that opening. So, you know, one thing we talk about all the time is not being too picky with how you make your money, especially when you're trying to figure it out. Because I feel like a lot of people, they're like, I don't want to ruin my brand, but they don't even have a brand, right? You got less than 1,000 followers and you don't want to promote this or you don't want to do that because you feel like it's going to ruin your brand. So how did you go from, you know, being a regular person, just working jobs and then getting to posting about your business and all that stuff? Because a lot of people, they're afraid to do that. They don't want to put themselves out there and be looked at as like different.
Okay. So I feel like with me, especially like on the network marketing standpoint, I really didn't join to build. You know, I didn't join to build, but I wasn't against it. See, I had kind of like a different approach because, you know, a lot of people, they just kind of just join the business and they kind of just join the business like kind of like early on. They don't really know what's going on, right? My approach was kind of different. I was already like following like Bryce, Jay Goss, all these people that was killing the industry at the time. I was already following them on Instagram. And I wouldn't join, but I would just watch.
Just watching.
I would just watch. And, you know, I'm a very calculated numbers guy, so I'm just watching. I'm like, okay, this is what they doing, They living this lifestyle, okay.
Right.
So I'm not against it. You know, I wanted to, you know, my main goal of me joining was to become like, you know, quote unquote master trader, you know. That's why, you know, I went with T-Fade at the time. And basically like I wasn't against it because I kind of already mapped out my process months before I even joined. But what made me pull the trigger, I seen one of my homies had made like $300 or something on the trade. And I was like, nah.
That's all you
I'm
needed.
on that. I'm on that because I was watching the YouTube videos. I was watching everything. I just wasn't joined because I'm making $130 a week at the gas station.
Right.
And, you know, it was like $225 at the time. That's 2 checks.
Right.
So I was like, I just really needed that real trigger. And that is, you know, having a big trigger.
You needed to raise your belief. Like that one little piece of content or whatever that you saw that changed your whole mindset. And I feel like it was the same way for me because I remember like seeing someone have $1,000 day trading. I don't know if they were demo or live, but I'm like, you made $1,000 on your phone. I got to figure this out.
Yeah, 100%. And like with belief comes like, with belief, you know how you said like me and you brothers, me and you talk every day?
Yeah.
It was one of my dogs like you.
Right.
He had made the $300. So if, you know, of course, you know, we see, you know, smoke and mirrors online all the time, but whenever it's somebody close to you,
right,
it's like a whole different level.
That belief is a little higher.
Yeah. So that's
okay. So, you know, we talked about, you know, kind of the journey and getting started. So you said you hit a $50,000 a month income at what, 19? 20?
I was really 20.
20? Okay.
I be saying 19, 20 because it was so close.
Right. So what was that like? Because going from a gas station less than, you know, like a year ago to $50K a month, what did that do for you?
honestly, it felt unreal at the time. It felt unreal at the time. I was spending a large amount of money. Like I was spending lots of money in LA, Rodeo Drive, shopping sprees, Miami. I wouldn't stay in a hotel unless it was a penthouse. It was different. It was honestly different. But it really set the bar for me because like once you start making a certain amount of money, it's like okay, you don't want to go back.
Right.
So that's really what it is.
So you set that new standard. You made a new higher high. If we were, talking in trading terms, it's like I don't want to go back to those previous levels. And did you lose a lot of friends? Because a lot of times when you start doing something different, especially if your friends aren't on that wave, or the people you grew up with, you just don't talk as much because it's like I'm kind of doing something different now. And sometimes it's jealousy. So did you feel that with your circle from your hometown?
I did. I used to hear little things from the grapevine, like, oh, Adrian is this, or Adrian don't care about us. Adrian only care. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're always gonna get that whenever you're winning, and yeah, man. So I experienced like a lot of hatred. It went from being everyone supporting you in the beginning, right? They support you in the beginning because they see the potential, but then once you become what you're mapping out to be,
right?
That's whenever they start hating because in all reality, if it's not them, they really don't want you to win. People don't want to get left. That's the real thing. Right. People don't want to get left, and yeah, man. So.
A lot of people, they want to see you do good, but just not better than them.
Yeah, that's it. They want to see you do good, just never better than them. And that's what I experienced. And that's what caused me to grow my network with other individuals that was on the same type of time.
Right, right.
Because, people all the time, they'll say, I be getting comments all the time. I had made a video the other day about having rich friends, and someone in the comment section was like, But I want to stay with the people who starved with me and things like that, and I want to bring people up and all that. I'm like, that's cool if they solid. That's cool if they solid, but if they just got a handout, like you owe them something, that's completely different, and it's only gonna drain you. It's only gonna drain you, and it's gonna drag you down. It's like the crab in the barrel type mentality.
And like I said, just talking about getting out your comfort zone. You're from a small place, right? Not a lot going on there. Kind of rural area from what I've seen you post about on Instagram. So getting out your comfort zone, and now you're going to events, and you're the man now. Like, what is that like? Because now you're in front of the camera, you're talking. What was that transition like? Getting used to that?
Honestly, since I did YouTube. Okay. And I was in front of the camera a lot on YouTube. It's honestly pretty natural. And I try not to let it get to my head anymore. In the beginning, I was cocky. Like, I was so cocky. Like, bro, I'll be on IG talking about flying people, girls out, and all type of different stuff. But then, highs and lows on entrepreneurship, I was at that high. And then, God humbled me. Like God humbled me, like, insanely. And now I don't even be thinking on that type of time. Like I try to always just humility. Like people like, bro, you the man. I be like, that's you, dog.
Right.
People be like,
every time I comment on a picture, I get that, that's you, bro. I'm gonna try to tag you.
Yeah, that's you.
Don't
that's
go
you.
backwards
like,
in life.
I don't try to. I just never try to really like take credit. Like oh, you that guy. I try to always stay like humble as possible. Even though sometimes I might be thinking I'm like, damn, like. I'm really running it up right now. Right. But that's more so to myself. I don't try to do it to other people anymore. Right. I try to, like, as far as you guys know, I'm humble. You know what I'm saying? As far as you guys know, I'm like outwardly humble, inwardly humble. But, to myself, I do have those confident, bursts and things like that. So
right. So, like I said, this whole podcast and this whole show is about giving people the keys and giving the vision to the reality and, what got your ideas to become your reality. Because you're living a lot of what you were probably, thinking about and like manifesting and trying to put into existence years ago. But I want you to touch on that, being humbled and how you can be at the top and then you cannot be at the top. So give a little bit of, what that was like for you and how you overcame that. Because a lot of people, they can't handle that fall off. They just give up.
Okay, so with me, whenever I was up and I was like very unhumble, and then I fell, I I would beat myself up. Like I beat myself up mentally to the point, because whenever you coming from zero to you rich and then you fall back off, it's like, damn, I blew it. I blew my opportunity, bro. I was making $50,000 a month. Why didn't I save this? Why didn't I invest in this? Why didn't I do this? I had all these opportunities, and I'm like, damn, like, and now the money's coming slow as hell. You feel me? I'm like, bro. I'm like, bro, I missed my opportunity, man. I missed my opportunity. But then my mom would just tell me, like, I needed that. That's what my mom would tell. Even though my mom haven't experienced, nearly as much as I have.
Mama knows what's best.
Yeah, but it's like my mom always have like the best advice. She was like, you needed that because you needed to get that out your system because of where you're going and things like that. So then that's whenever I really just humbled up. I just told myself, I just made a vow to myself that like I was just gonna, just kind of like remain like as humble as possible on that, on that coming back up.
Right. So, just to transition now, like I said, I kind of want to do this as like a timeline. So when we met, what really kind of attracted me to you, your energy overall. Like you were always one of those people, like I said, to put yourself out there and do it the right way. Content was always good, even though you're taking to new levels now. But what also was like really dope was that you weren't afraid to go your own way. So when everyone was either doing, network marketing or this, you actually created your own group. You created your own mentorship. You were, helping people. You still do it, but you were really focused on that time at getting people into trading and, being there daily with them. So what was that like, creating your own path? Because that's scary sometimes. Group economics with network marketing is kind of like it's easy because everyone's doing it. But when you go off, it can be a little scary sometimes. So talk about kind of going off on your own journey.
Okay, so with that, going out on my own journey, it was scary in the beginning. I'm not gonna lie, it was scary, but I feel like when it was scary until I joined NWC. And that's what it's called, NWC.
Yeah.
And
shout out Leverage Lifestyle.
NWC, but then that's when NWC, it had started becoming a point where it was so separated to where, like everyone just started fending for themselves. And then I started buying signal chats and I just started sending my people the signals,
Yeah.
So once I started doing that, because network marketing, you're trying to keep people active, active as possible. Well, that was affiliate marketing, but same thing, network marketing, affiliate marketing. But you're trying to keep people as active as possible. So I'm buying signal chats and sending people the signals. So at that point, I'm fending for them.
Yeah.
So then that's whenever I'm thinking of the price. I'm like, I don't know how much a price was. Was it like $150 a month?
I think it was like $150 total. It was different packages, but we would make everyone get all three.
Yeah, so it was like $150 or $185, one of those two. But then that's what I'm thinking about, how many people in the chat, and now I'm starting to thinking about like the activity level, the longevity. Are these people really gonna pay $150 for X amount of time? Even though it's less people, more money. It's kind of less people, more money. But then you got to start thinking of the longevity. So then that's when I just was like, okay, what if I drop the price to $80, right? Because now as I'm joining all these different signal chats, I'm starting to see how these people do it, right? So how I built my stuff out, I joined a lot of other people's chats, and then I kind of just took what I liked, and I seen all different types of business models. So then that's what gave me the confidence to recreate it, because I already seen that it was done. The main different part was, now it's kind of like all in on me. But like I said, like once the NWC thing started to become a little separate, I was basically fending for myself anyway. So I was kind of used to it.
So yeah, like I said, that's just a prime example of you not being afraid to go your own way. And then, over the last 2 years, you've had to do that multiple times. And that's how we kind of get to where we're at now, getting into credit repair, because you were the one who really got me into the credit repair space, with CEO Academy and other, platforms that were out there. So what made you want to look into that lane?
As far as credit repair?
Credit repair,
okay, so look, this is a crazy, crazy journey, man. Crazy. All right, so it's, a couple different people I got to shout out to. Shout out to my dog, Still Will. He actually the one who really got me on the credit repair. So me and him ran a business model together, right? Me and Will ran a business model together, but it was really Will doing the credit. It was really Will doing the credit. It was just my network, right? So then that's whenever, it was cool. Don't get me wrong, it was cool. But then shout out to Nanoa, right? Shout out to Nanoa. Nanoa had called me one day, and he was like, "Hey, bro, have you heard of this CEO Academy?" So I was like, "Nah, I haven't." And then he was just telling me the blueprint, how everything was being ran. And then that's when I just understood the numbers. The numbers was just the splits was way higher. So I'm like, okay. So then that's when I tested it out, and then it worked. Then I was like, okay, yeah, I got to convert to this. It's, as a business owner,
right.
As a business owner. And then that's when, the whole CEO Academy thing. And then that's what kind of, led me. I love the business model so much. That's what, kind of led me to starting my own thing.
Right.
As well.
And like I said, you were always one to kind of jump ahead in front of the trend before it became popular to the masses. So, while everyone else was still just doing trading or maybe trying to sell EAs or whatever, you really, put yourself out there and you're like, nah, I'm gonna go ahead and push credit repair. I'm gonna push this gold package. I'm gonna do that.
Yeah. So with that, with me kind of, I call that niching down, right? I had to niche down because, I was trying to do, the day trading. I was trying to do, the EAs. I was trying to do, the credit and then it came to funding. But I really just, I was making a lot of money, but I seen it as unsustainable, right? So I had made like $100,000 in like 6 months. But, we was in, Miami, club.
You're living life.
Living life because it's coming in fast. But I'm partying deep down and, inside. I know that this income is unsustainable because I really don't have a blueprint. So I had to, think like longevity, the longevity. So I had to cut out the other streams. I still do day trade. I still do day trade daily, but I don't post about it.
Yeah.
I don't post about it because it's like what my audience consumes,
Right.
So, that's how, how that happened. And I niched down to grow, the cash cow.
Right. And, I think people see all these entrepreneurs online now talking about you need 7 streams of income. But the reality is you need one thing that you can really focus on, right? Follow one course until success. That's what I look at as focus. And then, you can turn that into multiple streams. You can turn that ocean into multiple streams. So like you have credit repair, but then that leads to funding. And then that leads to, other opportunities and partnering on the back end. So, just talk about, like I said, really not being afraid to go your own way, but then stepping into a different light and really, like you said, focusing on that one lane, because I feel like we have a lot of entrepreneurs, they want to do it all. And you can do it all eventually, but like you said, you have to really build a foundation somewhere. And that's what a lot of people don't want to do. So do you think it's important to really, take 1 to 2 years or however long it takes to build that foundation? Like when you were trading, you were just trading for, years. You did that. And then now, like you said, you're building out the credit repair space, the business funding space. So do you think it's important to focus on one thing at a time, or can people truly do 2 different things?
Okay, so honestly, I feel like if you're really trying to scale the brand to like a next level, I feel like you should niche down, because when people see you, they should know you for something. Like, it's to the point now, bro, whenever I go in public to certain places, people say, hey, gold package.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Like, I'll be at an event and that's happened like so many times. Like, people will call me by the package I sell.
By the product.
Like, gold package. They don't even say, hey, what's good, Adrian? They look at me, they recognize it because this is our first time meeting. Yeah. They say, hey, gold package.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, that's crazy. So that just shows like I'm doing that one thing, just beating it into their heads, rather than, whenever you got so many different things going on, people don't really know. It's like you got too many different identities.
Right.
So and I feel like if you're really trying to scale, because sometimes a business model or a certain industry will, like you said, will create multiple streams, and like you can make so much money. Like, by example, the funding industry, right? The funding is tied in with the credit industry. That's basically, it's 2 different verticals, but it's the same industry. So everyone wants the funding, but if they don't get approved for the funding, or not if they don't get approved, they don't qualify. If they don't qualify for the funding, guess what they got to do? Get credit repair. And then they're going to graduate to the funding. So it's like a constant cycle, rather than, buy this trading package, buy, this EA, buy this, buy that. It's like I kind of got a flow, and then whenever you doing one thing good, now it's gonna transpire into a lot of people sending their people your way, because how can you truly be the best at something, focusing on so many different things.
Okay. That's all great points. And, just one thing that you're very good at is scaling all your businesses. So even, when you were focused heavily on running your Discord, like you knew how to scale that and grow that to a certain level. How did you kind of scale where you're at, because you switched verticals, you switched industries completely. So how did you go from, being known for trading to really switching and then scaling it to, where you're at now? We'll talk about some numbers because I do want to be transparent and give the real, but, how did you scale this business?
Okay, honestly, how I scaled this business, this one was a little bit harder. I feel like the funding industry and the credit industry, that's a little harder because you're dealing with people's private information now. I say, man, honestly, just being consistent and just spamming it in their face. Like I'm nonstop, like, go pack, funding. Another business owner about to get approved. So
you've been that social proof.
Yeah, like that social proof. And then, what comes with that, over time is going to come a track record. So now people can, see like, all the testimonials and things like that. I feel like that was kind of like the main thing. In the beginning of the funding business, it was hard for me, man. I'm not gonna lie. People did not want to trust me, or they did not want to trust me, or they did not want to, get funded by me. And until I built out that track record, like whenever I first started my funding company, but I didn't get a client for 3 months. Not one client for 3 months. And now, I get clients every single day.
Just look at his story. It's every 10 seconds, it feels like. We walk in here and he's out here closing deals, posting on his story.
So I say, that was scaling and just understanding, the different verticals, like where it's content, ads, referrals. I'll give y'all some paid game right now, right? Yeah. Content, right? It's content, ads, referrals. Content, ad, referrals. Content, ad, referrals. That's really,
write that down.
That's really all it takes to scale. And then, obviously, like the back end system, like, I'm still trying to get, a clean funnel built out to where it works, but it's like really just content, ad, referrals, and assistance.
Okay. So, our niche and just the group of people we kind of came up with, I feel like we're transitioning into structuring up, but there's a lot of guys out there like Smitty the Goat and people who they've been in this lane for a couple of years now since the pandemic. But I feel like you're kind of leading the way for this new school, especially, being not even 24 yet. Like you're really young. And like I said, you stepped in the front. So I do want to give keys because part of my podcast is making sure we really let people walk away with some tangible information they can go use. But talk about the importance of credit, because obviously not just to get funding, but just overall having good credit and what a good credit profile looks like to you.
Okay, so this is what a good credit profile looks like. Good credit profile. This is what will qualify for the funding. A 680 plus credit score on Experian, right? It got to be on Experian.com because Experian pulls from the FICO, right? Don't necessarily look at Identity IQ because that's your Vantage scores. The banks pull from the FICO. So 680 plus credit score. You got to have 4 to 5 open primary accounts. And you must have at least one credit card with a 2.5K limit or higher, because that's for comparable credit reasons. Because the banks, they basically, if you have good comparable credit, that's what determines how much you get approved on the business side. So you need that. And then you must have minimum 3 years average history. And your utilization must be under 20%. And every individual card must be under 50%. And that's gonna get you qualified.
So he gave y'all literally the recipe right there, if you want to get business funding. And then, you mentioned something, the FICO versus Vantage scores, because a lot of people don't know the difference. They'll go on their Credit Karma and they'll be like, oh, I got this score, and they'll go somewhere else. So just talk about that, like making sure you're looking at the right scores.
Yeah, because Credit Karma will have you fooled out here, man. Credit Karma will have you fooled. People will send me their Credit Karma. Whenever I'm talking to a client, right? And then they send, let's say, an affiliate make a group chat with me and a client, and then a client send me like, oh, they got a 710 on Credit Karma, right? I automatically I'm like, I just think I'm like, he probably don't qualify because he sent Credit Karma.
Yeah.
If he would have qualified, or if I would have hoped that he qualified, he would have sent the Experian.
Yeah.
It's just experience,
Right.
Not saying that they're not gonna qualify, because I'm still gonna check it either way. But it's just kind of like, first glance. If you send me a Credit Karma, I automatically just I just don't take it serious, you know, serious.
You got to find out what the real is.
Yeah, what it really is.
You know, so credit is important. And obviously, you know, talk about people getting business funding, because I feel like I said, our niche in general, we're still kind of getting used to this idea of business funding and what it can be used for, because a lot of people don't realize you could scale way faster if you were actually using business funding. So just talk about like the type of people that you're helping get business funding, what they're doing, and, you know, why you think people should go this route versus, you know, saving up for 2 years trying to save that $40K.
So honestly, you know, time is valuable asset. Time, and it's just easy, especially like whenever you have the connects inside the banks. That's how my clients get approved. I basically have bankers on the inside that pull my client's application, and then they get approved for, you know, 50 to 100 grand, 0% APR, and the monthly spend. This is the major thing, right? The monthly spend or the average or the payback. You only got to pay back 1% of what you use. Right, so let's say I help you get approved for 50 grand, and then you was to go spend $10,000 on an Airbnb unit, right? 10,000 times 1% is $100. Now your monthly minimum payment is $100. Now your business have time to start developing and generating revenue. So think about that. You spent $10,000, not of your own cash, of OPM, other people's money, the bank's money. You spent $10,000, right? Now you only got to pay back on that. Now you have an asset. You spend $10,000. Now you have an asset. Now your monthly minimum payment is $100. So that's a lot better than you saving up $10,000 of your own liquid capital and putting it at risk, because you never know what can happen. Right. For one, a lot of individuals may have never even seen 50,000 liquid cash in their bank account.
Right.
You know?
Most people don't make that in a year.
Yeah, most people don't have the discipline to even save up to that amount. So that's, you know, main thing I say, just time, and you want to stay liquid as possible, especially like when you're in this game of investing. Because I have a lot of liquid cash, I'm not gonna lie, I be kind of victimized to it too, where I want to just put my own liquid cash up front. But then, you know, I have mentors talking to me like, no, you have good credit for a reason. Like my car, like you know, if you guys don't know, I just caught a new C8.
Oh yeah, let's talk about the vet real quick, man. Let's talk about that.
I just caught a new C8. I was actually about to put like $30,000 down, just because, you know, I'm like a real live below my means type of guy. I don't like my monthly expenses too high. So I was gonna get like a $50K loan from the bank, and then I was gonna put up 30,000 of my own cash. But then that's when one of my mentors was like, don't do that, use your credit. So then that's when I went and got pre-qualified for $100,000. And then I went in there and put no money down.
Okay. That's a major key right there, you know, because people don't realize what the power of having good credit is, because you can still get the same thing sometimes, but it's going to come at a much higher interest rate, or, you know, a much higher monthly payment, or you won't be able to do zero down. So just talk about what good credit opens up the door on the personal side and on the business side.
Okay, so good credit on the personal side, you can get the low interest rates on the cars. You can get the high limits, low interest rates. So, you know, my auto loan, I got pre-qualified for $100,000 at 5.84% interest rate. So that was cool, especially in a time like this. Average interest rate the average interest rate is around like 8 to 9%, you know, or higher, you know, depending. I say that. Then, you know, you're able to get approved for, you know, the cribs, you know, whether that's an apartment or a house. You're able to get, you know, just higher limits. And, you know, like how we was talking on the phone with Buddy yesterday about the ads.
Oh, yeah.
He was like, hey, let's run you through this to see if you qualify. I said, I know I qualify.
Right.
I know. Just to
have that confidence gets a little higher.
Having that confidence, just being able to walk in a building to where it's like, okay, I don't care what it is, I know I qualify, right? Right. And as far as like on the business side, you know, just having, the high limits and funding, just in case you want to, you know, do a business. You guys, I would suggest getting good credit, not because you want to do something now, but sometimes because you may want to do something later.
Right.
It's always I used to always say, you know, stay ready so you don't got to get ready. And, you know, it's better to, you know, come in prepared than unprepared, because I didn't know I was going to C8 so soon. But whenever I walked in that dealership and I had a large amount of cash in my bank account and I had good credit, it made me thankful for my previous decisions of years ago.
Right. It's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it.
100%.
So, all right, let's backtrack because the funding process sounds amazing, getting this $50K, but a lot of people don't realize they got to go through credit repair. And that's where some people are like, well, I don't want to wait. So just give an average timeline of what credit repair looks like and what's going on during credit repair. Because people don't understand, like, that profile needs to be structured. You told us the profile, but you got to get them collections off. You got to get those negative items removed.
Okay, so, all right. So with credit repair, the average credit repair process, I don't care what company it is. The average credit repair process takes anywhere from 30 to 90 days, right? 30 to 90 days. And it can stretch out to 4 to 5 months at times, right? So that's the average credit repair process, but that's just only one piece to the puzzle. A lot of people think that they get credit repair and, oh, I qualify. What about your history? That's why I always say go gold package, because whenever you get a gold package, not only is we fixing your credit, but I'm giving you the tools. Since I work directly with the banks, I was able to construct a PDF file, not only teaching them about credit, but telling them what to add to their credit profile so that they qualify within the upcoming months. So now basically you prepared, so you don't got to get ready. So, just things like that. Because a lot of people, they get their credit fixed and don't want to build it out.
Right.
And then think that it's time. No, it's not time. You got this is a whole different lane now.
Right.
So, yeah. So, I'll be helping people, get approved, for their businesses. Kind of the backtrack we were talking about. I didn't get you asked me about what type of industries do I be helping getting approved. I'll be helping, the Airbnb, industry, the Amazon FBA / e-com industry. Honestly, any business that really need capital, which is, I say, a lot of businesses, they need
every
capital.
Business needs money to run.
Yeah, every business. So, but mainly I say, my main target right now is like Airbnb and e-com, because that's literally like the focal point. Because with the Amazon people, they can't scale their business. I don't care, how good their store is, how much they're selling. They can't make more money if they don't have more inventory.
Right.
So they need the
consistent cash flow to be able to pull from.
100%.
So back to the credit thing, because I want to give people the keys so they can hit us up, come to us, and they're ready to get funding. They're ready to go through credit repair. But like you said, it's not just credit repair. It's also building that profile. And a lot of people don't realize, like, okay, let's say someone, they clean their credit. They got the collections gone, the negative items. But, we talk about getting installment accounts, things like that. What are those little things people can do to just structure themselves the right way for overall, because they should have it for themselves, but then to be ready for that, business funding process?
Okay, so I'm about to give y'all some paid game right now. You need 4 to 5 open primary accounts, right?
Yeah.
That's what you need. This is what I would do. I would get a Navy Federal pledge loan, right? I would give a Navy Federal pledge loan. I would go to creditstrong.com. I would get an installment account, right? So that's already 2 accounts on your credit. I would go to meetava.com, get a 2.5K limit on your credit, right? And then at that point, so now you have 3 accounts. Now you can kind of, with the last 2, 9 times out of 10, people got something on their credit. But the last 2, I would say I would get a trade line, right? I would either get a authorized. How say like this? I prefer you get an authorized user from your family member rather than paying for one, because whenever you pay for one, it's gonna fall off in 60 days, right? That's like normally what trade line companies do, that fall off in 60 days. But if you have one from your family member, they're gonna leave it on for however long. So that's gonna be building your credit as well. So now that's 4 accounts. And then the last account, it can honestly be anything. What I say, Meet Ava, Credit Strong.
What about like rent reporters and things like that?
Yeah, but the thing is, like, we wanted to report on experience. I don't think rent reporters report on experience.
And that's a key right there, experience, because that's who.
Yeah, that's who Chase pulls from 9 times out of 10. Sometimes Chase pulls from TransUnion if you're in Florida. Sometimes if you're in a certain part of Florida, and that's not even, a guaranteed it's going to pull from TransUnion. I've just seen it sometimes. Right. But sometimes if you're in Florida, they may pull from Experian and TransUnion. Right. So, it's just different things like that. But you can honestly, you can go open up, you can go get a pledge loan from DCU. It's just, It's just things like that.
You gave a lot of I'm not gonna take it all. I wanted this to go viral, and I want people to be able to walk away and, like I said, feel comfortable to come to us with the next steps and just be ready for it. But so when it comes to business funding, a lot of people, they'll see people like you and they're like, well, I could just go online and apply. I can go to the bank myself. Why do I need Adrian?
Okay, so here's the thing, right? You're right. You can do that, but 9 times out of 10, I scratch that. you can't request, like, let's say you apply online, you can't request a $50,000 credit card. You can't do it. You can't request a line. So you need a banker on the inside to do that for you, right? But here's just a tricky part. This is why the funding companies make so much money. You got to have the eye to read a credit profile. The average person don't know how to read a credit profile. It'd be people thinking they don't qualify when they do, then it'd be people thinking they do qualify when they don't. So you need, an individual like me, a consultant, to review your credit profile so that you don't basically try to do it and don't you get
now
denied.
You got an inquiry.
Yeah, now you got an inquiry. And honestly, guys, I can remove the inquiry in 24 hours. Let's say we apply, we get your approval, I can remove the inquiry in 24 hours. So,
come on.
It's just things like that the average person don't know how to do. Not saying that they can't do it.
Right, they're just not skilled on it.
Yeah, it's just, this is what I do for a living, so.
And I forgot about that, but touch on that because people think, oh, I got a 700 credit score, I'm ready. And then, there's been times where I brought somebody, you look at their profile, the score was good, but then the profile's not built out. And sometimes the score is not amazing, but the profile is more built out. So talk about that a little bit.
So your credit score is only like a ballpark range of where you are, right? So, people be coming to me, they be having 800s and they don't qualify.
Yeah.
Just because about history, I've seen people with 800s that don't qualify. I've seen people with 701s that have great profiles. And it just, it just depends on the history. So that's why, I'm telling you guys, don't focus on the score so much. And even in the credit repair side, people be like, oh, my score this, my score that. My score didn't go up, but the negatives are going, right?
Yeah.
So sometimes, even in the credit repair space, sometimes your score will drop because the negative items was removed, because sometimes those negative items have age. So whenever you remove them, it causes the score to drop, but you have a better chance of getting approved with those negatives going, even though your score is low.
Right. And you remove those items and that utilization might go down. Yeah. Because, now you're losing those accounts. But like you said, overall, you're structuring yourself for that profile. So, just talk about, you got into the funding space and, one thing that you're big on and transparent about is mentorship and not just jumping off the deep end, but actually making sure you got a parachute on your back, that you understand it. So talk about getting mentorship. It's like there's a reason why you can do this at this high level. You didn't just wake up one day with all this information. You had to go to a source, and you don't have to give away that source, but just talk about that mentorship and how important that was for you.
Okay, so with mentorship in general, this is what I feel like mentorship is. It's like a gardening season, right? It's like different seasons in business. So let's say you up right now, or let's say you're making a little bit of money right now. Of course, you have to pay for mentorship. No one's going to mentor you for free. So the mentorship be kind of like that small little setback or that small little step back, right? And that's whenever you kind of like learning the game, and you really just, now you have a mentor that's already done what you're trying to do. So now you kind of relearning, right? You kind of relearning to then months down the line, your business, or your information, has skyrocketed. And I feel like, that's kind of like a big part of why I'm at where I'm at. Like, I invest a lot of money, like tens and thousands of dollars. Like, I actually just paid someone $4,000 yesterday. So it's constantly, a lot of people think it's a one-time thing, or all because you invested in this mentor that it didn't work. You took something from that mentor. Matter if it made you thousands of dollars or whether it taught you what not to do. It's a never-ending game. Like, you gotta constantly keep investing in yourself, growing the business, because if you're not growing, you're dying. It's no such thing as cool in entrepreneurship. There's no such thing as just coasting. No, it's either you growing or you're dying.
And like you said, not being afraid to spend money. Of course, there's going to be investments that don't pan out well. There's going to be investments that you lose on. But just being open to spending that money for someone to teach you game that you don't know. And I think that's the biggest problem. People will see your story and your lifestyle, and it's like, I want the vet. I want to live, in ATL, get the nice crib and nice condo and live in the high rise and this is third. But then, oh, well, all right, pay me $1,000. I'll teach you everything I know. Or, maybe not even me or you, but pay somebody, right? Go buy the books, go get the information. And they don't want to do it. So just talk about being consistent and staying locked in, because you're young and you turn right now. Like you could, you live in ATL. You've been in ATL for 6 months?
Yeah, 6, 7.
You could be out every weekend. Not saying you don't have fun, but I'll see you, literally on, Instagram, and you just posting up in the crib and, you're watching YouTube videos, personal development. So talk about staying consistent even after the wins come, because a lot of people, if they get the win, they're done with the personal development. They're done getting mentors. They're done with learning.
Okay, I'll say as levels, success is kind of like a drug. It gets very, very addicting, right? And then whenever you step into those different rooms, you just realize like you're not there yet. You're not turned and it's environment. A lot of the times it's environment, because whenever I was in North Carolina, I was one of the littest in my city. So I did experience that. In North Carolina, there's not much to do, so I never really, in my part, Goldsboro, North Carolina, there's nothing to do, right? So I never really experienced just partying, wilding out like that. But I would say I never experienced partying and wilding out like that. But I would say I would get comfortable. I'll get comfortable because of my environment, because I'm the littest in the room.
Right.
But whenever I moved to ATL, now I became like a goldfish in a shark tank again, because, it's the little shark analogy. A shark is only going to grow as big as the tank. So now in ATL, I just see that it's levels. Like in North Carolina, whenever I was in Goldsboro, let's say I made $2,000 today, right? I'll be turned in the car, listening to music, like, yo, man, I'm having a good day. And then that's why I kind of chill, mess around with my dog, and then it would just be kind of like, I would know I'm BSing, but it wouldn't really feel like I'm BSing because I'm the littest in the room. But in ATL, man, it don't matter how much I made 5K, 10K. You step outside, you get in that elevator, you might see Rollo in there. You feel me? Chained up. You go in that elevator, you might see a female bust down AP, go to the garage, McLarens, Lambs, and it tells you like, it's levels like I need to get back to work.
Right.
So
I talk to a lot of people, and some people think that we kind of bash them when we say you should get out your hometown. But do you think it's important to get out your hometown, whether it's just traveling or moving? I think you should do both. Like you should travel, go see the world, but then at some point, I feel like most people have to leave their hometown to really go to the next level.
100%. That was me, honestly, man. If I didn't move to ATL, I wouldn't my company wouldn't be where it's at right now. Like if I didn't move to ATL, literally. My company really took off a month after I moved to ATL. Like, I was doing good. I was having decent months. Whenever I was living in North Carolina, the 30, 40K months, those was good to me. Those was my big months. Then whenever I moved to ATL, now those are my low months. Yeah. So it was like, things like that. So environment, yeah, it's definitely important to move out of your hometown. Like, that really changed the game for me. Like, mentally, work ethic. Like, whenever I was in North Carolina, I used to go to the gym more so at night.
Yeah.
Whenever I moved
in the early
morning,
now.
Early in the morning, man. And then just the environment as far as like what I see. So in North Carolina, I used to stay in the country. Now I live in a high-rise building. Now, first thing I see is a crazy view. I can see the whole Atlanta from the crib. That just jump starts the day, and it's just
raises your belief. You're seeing a whole different background, and like you said, I think just going to a new place where you don't know the people, they don't know you,
and the touch on like the going outside part and things like that. With moving to a new hometown, or moving to a new city, you're not surrounded by your family. So I really be alone. So I don't really have much friends in ATL at the moment. I don't have family out there. So I really just be in the crib working. There's nothing else to do but work.
Get to it.
Yeah, there's nothing else to do to occupy my time. So I'm trying to start getting into hobbies and things like that now, but other than that, the work is just keep my mind busy. Just keep the only thing to do.
Right. So, of course, you gave some of the process about funding and everything, and we talked about the journey. But let's talk about the numbers now, because that's what people love to hear. That's where we can create some of those viral clips. So, about how many? Well, let's talk about this. What's the average amount of funding you're getting for a typical client?
The average is anywhere from 50 to 100,000. That's like average. I haven't got more, but my baseline I go for is 50,000.
Because you can start with 50, and then you can go to other banks and do things like that 100%. And kind of stack. So how much would you say you've done in funding since you moved to Atlanta? We'll start there.
How much? Like how many? How much clients?
Yeah. How much money have you secured for clients?
Okay. Yeah. That's a good one.
Or how many clients have you helped? Because both numbers are pretty high.
Yeah. Honestly, that I really don't know. I would say since I moved to ATL,
yeah,
I'd say probably anywhere from like 7 to 8 million.
Okay.
Probably. So since I moved to ATL.
So guys, if you heard nothing else on this episode, this man just said he's acquired to help people get 7 to 8 million, and he's only been in Atlanta for 6 months. So that's not even a full year. So imagine, if he comes back on the show 6 months from now, what that number is going to be at, which just validates you even more. Numbers aren't everything, but they kind of are, because they're showing what you actually know. So you definitely have the information. Now talk about running a funding business, and for people who want to get into that lane, because obviously you make money from it. You're not doing it for free. You love helping people, but there's a reason why you're doing it. So what does that look like for you, and what are you getting out of clients when you help them get funded?
Okay, so let's be transparent. So with clients, what I'm getting, I normally charge a percentage on the back end fee. I'm not gonna say
right, because it varies.
I'm not gonna say the percentage just because I have partnerships.
Yeah,
and I can't disclose that unless we're talking like one-on-one. But I charge a percentage on the back end of the fee, and yeah, that's how we get paid. So I don't charge anything up front normally. Until we help you get the funding.
Okay. So just so people know, because a lot of people are like, well, if I go through this process, what do you get? How does it work? Do I have to pay you up front? So you heard it first, guys. He's not taking any money up front. It's once he gets you approved for funding, whatever that amount is, he's gonna get a percentage of that, and that's his, basically his finder's fee. He's done the work for you. So if you're comfortable with it, let's go for it. Like I said, because I want to give real game, bro. I want to encourage someone to start their business, and why this is why you have to be comfortable, pivoting. And you could have just stayed doing what you were doing 2 years ago, but you got into this lane, and let's be real, you scaled it to 6 figures, a month. Mm-hmm. It's there.
God willing.
You've touched those levels. So talk about just creating that consistency of 5 and 6 figure months, because a lot of people don't get to that point. And if you had to quit before, some of the trials, and there were ups and downs, along the way, but just maintaining and, like I said, God willing, but getting to that 5 or 6 figure plateau and staying there.
It's crazy. I'm trying to stop showing money on the ground, but
you showed enough to make me want to ask, so I had to get it on the show.
You ask the question again. You asking what does it take?
So because you already posted, that. We've seen what you've done, right? You guys can go to his IG and see that. But what does it take to stay there? Because a lot of people can do it one time, but to stay there consistently inside of one industry, like you said, so 5 and 6 figure months consistently in your niche right now. Okay,
I would say a big thing, of that is having people that are doing more than you, like that you're talking to, like, on a day-to-day basis. A lot of people don't like to have, their friends that's either, doing it at the same pace as them, or doing it, better. Like, see, like we have like a whole like group of like different funders or whatever. And basically, it's people in there that's having crazy months, 200K, 300K months.
And real quick, tell them how much you paid to be in that group, because like I want people to understand the importance of investing in yourself.
Okay, I paid $5,000 to be in that group. And then, there's other, individuals, like someone that kind of like keep me going, like they keep me grinding, man. Shout out to my brother, his name Blaze. And we're the same age. And as far as like work ethic and intensity, he's one of those ones that I see like, okay, like damn, like we're like a mirror. You feel me? Like as far as work ethic. So,
Spider-Man meme. Like,
yeah, it's like the Spider-Man meme. And it's like, I was like, damn, like, okay. Like it be times where, you know, like he got up early. And then I'd be like, damn, like I'm up too, or type shit.
Yeah.
Like, and we be kind of like on that same like wavelength. And I constantly see him working, and it's not really like on no competition shit, like or anything like that. But it just be like, damn, like I'm not about to, you know what I'm saying? I'm not about to fall off. So it'd be like things like that. So, you know, it's just good to have, you know, people like that, especially, you know, people that you really rock with, just on that same level of intensity as you, and that kind of like it helps me, you know, keep going and, you know, scaling up.
Right. And I could even say, even for you and me, like watching you these last 2 years, and from the time we met in Miami until now, and every week you're producing content, and talk about how much you spend on making content, because that's another thing people don't realize. Like, that's an investment too.
And shout out to my dog LB, man, LB 101. I honestly spend a lot of money on content, man. My YouTube videos probably be around like $200 a video. I got LB on a retainer package right now. I pay LB around, because LB's packages, it depends. Like the simple videos, right? This is the simple video. I pay him at least $2,000 a month for the simple videos. Now the turn videos y'all see, those can, you know, scale up to $750 and plus for one video. Yeah. So it's like, it just depends. So, you know, I do spend, you know, a couple $1,000 monthly on content, and, you know. And
then there's ads and things like that come along with it.
Then there's ads. Because it's like a lot of moving pieces to the content to, you know, make it out to what it, you know.
What it needs to be.
Yeah, what it needs to be.
So, you know, like I said, you've given so many keys. You have recently kind of reopened your mentorship and your monthly mentorship, I'll say, for people who maybe they can't afford the one-on-one, because you do have, you know, a Zero to Hero package, right? Where you actually lock in with people. Talk about your monthly membership, what that's, you know, entailing, what that comes with that Discord and everything that you're giving inside of there.
Okay, so with that monthly membership, I actually dropped the price. That it used to be anywhere from $80 to $100 a month, but I just dropped the price to $60. And basically, what, you know, the average individual would get, basically, it'll have my day trading course in there. It have it basically come my day trading signals, basically my trade ideas. But I wanted to make this group a little different. Like, I wanted this to kind of be all around. So that's when, you know, I got the credit, you know, stuff in there, like how to build out your credit profile. You know, I got, you know, things in there like how you can make, you know, hundreds and thousands of dollars being a middleman, and all, you know, different types of things like that. But yeah, that's really what it is. And then I just be in there giving, you know, entrepreneur game. People be telling me what they're going through, and then I be helping them, you know, roadmap, you know, scale to that next level. Because it's different people in there. There's traders in there. There's credit people in there. Is, you know, people that just want to make money in general. You know, in general or in sales. So yeah, that's what I got right now. I don't post about it as much, like I said, like just because my, you know, my audience, but it's a link there. You can get in there if you want.
We just like people to know what they can have access to. And, you know, sales is obviously a big piece of, you know, your journey. And real quick, touch on, like, you know, because I don't really consider you a salesman. You've always been good at positioning yourself in front of a trend and then putting that trend in front of people. But people, you know, don't realize sales is important. If you want to have any successful business, you need to learn the skill set of sales. So how did you become a good salesman and a good storyteller to, you know, attract your audience?
I would say learning how to adapt, right? Learning how to adapt. You got to be able to read a room. You got to, and that doesn't even mean you're always going to be in a room selling in person. You just got to be able to read what's working online. You got to be able to study individuals. Something I really do. Like, I will study an individual that I want to be like, or I want to aspire. Basically, someone who has what I want.
We talk about this daily, just like saving profiles. Like, okay, this works.
I will save someone's profile. I will literally study from the time he posts, how many times he posts, what type of content is it? Is it montage video, education? It's so detailed. Man, it is literally so detailed. All the way to what they're wearing, man. Like, as you see, like, we're on a business casual today, even though, you know, we watched up today, but we're on a business casual today. And that's just what I'm seeing, like, people, other successful people that's winning, doing. Whenever I first came into the industry, I was very hood. I was very street, you know, only streetwear. I used to talk crazy, like, what's good, bro? You know, all that, you know, different types of things. But as you're adapting as you're adapting, your vocabulary is going to start adapting. As you start listening to these other high level individuals, and that's going to translate to you getting higher quality leads, because a lot of people don't have the money. You know, a lot of people, a lot in sales, you get, it's like, no, yes, no, yes. But you got to put yourself in a position that you get the highest quality people that's going to say yes. So that's really.
I mean, man, you giving so much game from, you know, your journey, funding, credit repair, just overall. So for that person who's afraid to make that pivot, because like I said, you've shown that plenty of times, being able to pivot or just being afraid to put themselves out there, what advice would you give to them on, you know, how to overcome that? And even if you're a person in the background, the importance is still taking information from people in the front and applying it in the background.
I would say, man, one of the things, you don't know everything. First thing, you got to understand you don't know everything. Even if you've been in the game for however long, you know, there's always someone doing it at a different level. And as far as like belief, that's something you're going to start believing in yourself whenever you start doing what you say. You start doing what you say you're going to do. Meaning, like, let's say, oh, you set a tax to go to the gym for 30 days, go on a 60-day, 90-day run. Whenever you actually see yourself getting up early, doing the hard things, you're going to start believing in yourself more that you can do these type of things. So then that's going to translate to business, because how you do one thing is how you do everything. So it'd be little things like, whenever I go, I could be feeling bad. I could be feeling like business not moving, right? And then I will go to the gym, and then business just start flowing. It's just like I just had an overflowing confidence. Then I just naturally start getting on courses more. I just naturally start studying more. And then by product of that, business just start skyrocketing. So it's just how much you believe in yourself, because, you know, we're human. You know, I'm pretty sure you have moments where you may feel down. You may feel like, damn, like this can take a minute to scale. Or damn, this may take, you know, can I really do this? But then whenever you start doing the little things, it's like building blocks. It's like bricks. It's like steps. That's what's going to draw you closer to, you know, eventually the belief. And then the belief is going to come with the action. And then action, you're going to win.
Man, well, you gave literally about $5,000 to $10,000 a paid game that, you know, most people would have to pay a mentor and fly out to him and do all that. But really quick, let the people know where to find you, give your socials, all that good stuff.
Yeah, 100%, man. So, you know, you can find me on Instagram at Adrian K, ADRIXNK. You can find me on YouTube at Adrian K, ADRIAN, you know, space K. And those are really my, you know, my two main platforms right now.
Cool, man. Well, I know this is not the last time that you will be on the show, bro. You know, we're locked in on a day-to-day basis. So I'm glad you came by. I appreciate you giving all the game, man. But for everybody out there, you know, if you got some value from this video, make sure you like, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment. You know, we're going to have a lot of fire clips in just short form because you gave so much game away today. But I appreciate everyone for tapping in. Make sure you bring your vision to reality, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.